Game 4 after he was ran for the first time in his professional career. Playoffs, regular season, all the like. Victor Wembanyama fighting for the rebound. Jaden McDaniels on him, and then Naz Reid on him, and then Victor Wembanyama, okay, sent the elbow, sent the forearm. The refs got together, assessed the video, and then assessed Wemby with a flagrant 2. Dylan Harper couldn't believe it. Again, Victor Wembanyama has never been ejected in his 3 seasons in the NBA. Mitch Johnson saying after the game, you're going to hear him, he should be protected, and if he's not going to be, he will protect himself. Here comes the call. Wemby talking to Harrison Barnes. Hey, what does that mean? Flagrant 2. Harrison Barnes, I'm assuming, is saying, hey, man, you got to leave. I'm ejected? Really? Okay. So he daps up everybody on the bench before he leaves. Here's his teammates after the game.
I mean, I saw that they was grabbing his arms. I feel like that's just a natural reaction to try and, move the ball away from them. But, I mean, I understand both sides of it. I mean, obviously he did hit him. So it's tough to have him out. Obviously nobody could make up what Vic does for us. So, yeah, we just had to move on.
If the people that are in charge of controlling the game and protecting the physicality of the game don't do that, then at some point he's going to have to protect himself with physicality that people try to impose on him. And the lack of protection is really disappointing. And at some level, it's starting to get actually disgusting. I'm glad he took matters into his own hands. Again, not in terms of hitting Naz Reid, but let me be very clear about that. I'm glad Naz Reid was okay, and I didn't want him to elbow him. But he's going to have to protect himself if they're not. And I think it's disgusting.
There was the rest of the game to get to, which we are going to in just a moment. But first, let's welcome in senior NBA reporter Brian Windhorst joining the program now. Wendy, good morning to you. So a flagrant 2 carries a $2,000 minimum fine and the potential for additional discipline. What is the likelihood we see the latter here?
I do not think he will face a suspension for Game 5. He could receive more fine. In fact, I would expect that. And there will definitely be a review today, and that is standard with all flagrant fouls. This was a grade A example of a flagrant foul. It had all of the markers: unnecessary, excessive, wind up, and hit above the shoulders. The Spurs, I guess, had to go through the motions of defending their player, but this was absolutely, completely unacceptable, and it significantly hurt his team to get ejected in the second quarter. And because he was out for over a half, I believe the NBA will consider that a satisfactory punishment, and he will avoid suspension. But I would highly recommend him not doing something like that again this postseason.
Sure. Had to leave the game with 4 points and 4 boards. This after a 39-point performance the game prior. There was the rest of the game left to be played, so Wendy, stand by. Randy, what you got?
Yeah, we'll get to Brian in just a moment. We've had Ant Edwards taking advantage of the fact that Wemby was off the floor, although Wemby's not picking him up from about 26 feet. That's a triple for Ant-Man. Playing on Mother's Day. More on that in just a moment from Edwards, who has another 3. So 16 points in the fourth quarter for Ant. Played all 12 minutes in the fourth, and he's talking to Mitch Johnson, who sounds a little bit like Doc Rivers at the mic.
He does.
Just a little bit. Dylan Harper Jr., meanwhile, the 4th rookie in Spurs history with multiple 20-point playoff games. San Antonio is up by 1. It's Nip Tuck, Rudy Gobert, 11 points, 13 rebounds. First double-double against the Spurs this season. Played 6 games against them so far. Reid, no. Edwards, 1 of his 6 rebounds and 2 of his 36 points attacking the rim. Instead of Wemby being out, he's 8 feet tall. So, yeah, he's going to cover up the rim. A lot more open when he's not on the floor. Ayo Dosunmu made this thing unnecessarily interesting. It was a 5-point lead with about 25 seconds to go, and he turns it over. Dylan Harper with the steal hits Julian Champagnie, who hits the free throws. Then Dosunmu gets it inbounds, and they are swarming him. 2 Spurs, 3 Spurs. He finally calls a timeout because he's got one. And Chris Finch is over there telling his guys, okay, protect the basketball. And Jaden McDaniels says, yeet, and throws this thing on the bottom of your screen. It's a jump ball that Dosunmu has to kick with his leg to keep him going out of bounds. And a 3-point, look at this, athleticism and awareness. Hangs onto it, stays in bounds, and the T-Wolves exhale. They win Game 4. We're all square at 2 games apiece. Here's Ant on a little extra motivation playing yesterday.
Today is Mother's Day, and so I just wanted to win for my mom, and it was just that simple.
Was she on your mind all day today? Or
For sure, yeah. I couldn't lose this game for her, for sure.
It was special. You know,
this is what he loves. This is what he lives for. Not just big games, but big moments. For the most part, when he wasn't doubled, he got to his stuff quick and clean, and that's who he is. That's who you need him to be. We're lucky to have him, and he's special, no doubt, especially given what he's been fighting through over the last month and a half.
Anthony Edwards lost his mom, Yvette, in 2015 and spoke on that significance. Brian, let's get to the significance of his fourth quarter performance yesterday. What does that mean now, not just for last night, but for the series?
Well, he looked terrific in the fourth quarter. He looked as healthy as he has since he had that hyperextended knee. I think he went back in the tunnel to get oxygen at one point, so he is not at the top of his game. But Victor Wembanyama getting ejected from this game and opening the door for the Timberwolves to tie it has opened the door for Ant to get healthier. And I will just point out, when Ant is healthy, the Timberwolves are a completely different team. And this is a team that has had great success over the last 3 years on the road in the playoffs. Ant has put up multiple tremendous games. They obviously won game one of this series down in San Antonio. The door was cracked open with Wemby's ejection. Ant Edwards barged through it. We have a 3-game series, and I really honestly believe it's totally up in the air.
Game 5 tomorrow in San Antonio. We'll see if they can get another road win for the Timberwolves. More from Brian.
Lost his own mother back in 2015, and this one was for her.
Today is Mother's Day, and so I just wanted to win for my mom, and it was just that simple.
Was she on your mind all day today? Or
For sure, yeah. I couldn't lose this game for her, for sure. He was special. This is what he loves. This is what he lives for. Not just big games, but big moments. For the most part, when he wasn't doubled, he got to his stuff quick and clean, and that's who he is. That's who you need him to be. We're lucky to have him, and he's special, no doubt, especially given what he's been fighting through over the last month and a half.
Okay, so given the physical nature of this here series, we got to get Kendrick Perkins in to discuss what we just watched. Wemby ejected in the first half after delivering that elbow. What's a lesson to be learned from Victor Wembanyama in that moment with those stakes?
Well, you got to keep your composure. That's number one. Number two, it was the right call by the officials. You had to throw him out because we all saw that it was intentional. He looked at him, stared him down, and delivered a blow. And he could have seriously hurted Naz Reid in that moment. And so at that time, I understand the game plan time and time again is to go out there and get physical with Wemby, try to frustrate him, but he has to keep his composure. And it's going to be interesting to see what the league determines or what they come up with as they continue to investigate this situation, because if he's suspended for game 5, man, this may change the whole dynamic of this series. And all of a sudden, you could be looking up, because right now, the Timberwolves should feel good headed back to San Antonio tied 2-2. But again, if Wemby is suspended game 5 and they shift and then Minnesota go in there and get the win, this is going to be one of these moments, if Minnesota complete the mission, that Wemby is going to look back and have all type of regrets. Because I truly believe, and I know I'm rolling with Minnesota in this series, but from what the Spurs been showing me, Wemby in that lineup, they really could go win the championship. But if he's not, Minnesota complete the mission, this is one of those seasons that he's definitely going to have in the back of his mind for the rest of his NBA career.
Now, I know you said it'll change the complexion of the series, but it changed the complexion of this game, specifically in that fourth quarter when Ant-Man is getting off, scoring 16 of his 30-plus on the evening. What did you see from Ant-Man in that moment?
Well, I just saw a guy that wasn't waiting on anybody. We saw Anthony Edwards, who we thought he is, right? A special individual, and that's what he get paid the big bucks for, to take over games like this and protect his crib. And without Wemby in the game, the lane opens up, and Ant is so dynamic, and you have to respect his jump shot because he's one of the better three-point shooters in this game now. Once he get it going and he can get downhill with no 7-7 Defensive Player of the Year presence for him, then all of a sudden we see the results like we see tonight, a legendary performance from Anthony Edwards.
Okay, we got more to discuss with you, though, Perk, so stand by for us, all right?
All right, Trev.